What's going on, everybody? It's Jack and Lockie from the Hardwood Rundown podcast. Um, Bit delayed. We've been a bit busy recently, but this is episode one of the tip off. The NBA season is well underway. Week one's like basically done. It's been a really exciting week so far. A lot of different storylines and a lot of things to talk about. We're going to go through basically um, every team that's worth mentioning. I know Jack's keen to talk about the Cavs because they're sixth in the East, so let's
Hell
go.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, let's just get into it. Let's talk. Let's go through the East because I think the Knicks have been so exciting and just like the way they play. Obviously, like in MSG, you're always going to have like a really exciting game, but they just play with such like tenacity and guys are just showing up. Like Julius Randle is just doing his thing. Kemba Walker is doing his thing. Obi Toppin off the bench has been like he's insane athlete for a power forward. And he could definitely be a starter in a couple of years. Um, he's been playing great. Mitch Robinson's been playing pretty decent. He's put on a couple of kilos, but I guess that helps. Yeah, the Knicks. What do you reckon?
Their record could easily be 3-2 if DeMar DeRozan didn't airball that shot yesterday. They should not have let Chicago back to that game. For a very defensively minded team with Tom Thibodeau as your coach,
Yeah.
I was shocked. I had all I needed was DeMar DeRozan to hit that mid-range shot and I would have won a lot of money. So I was a bit
It's all
cranked.
about multis, ladies and gentlemen.
I was a bit cranked. The multis are back. The multis are well underway. But yeah, no, the Knicks have looked very impressive. Kemba hasn't really even been crazy,
Nah, yeah,
but
not crazy.
he fits the system well. They're still playing from Julius Randle. And having Mitchell Robinson there as like your paint protector, and then still like Nerlens Noel's out with injury. He's gonna be
Yeah,
back. He's gonna be back soon. So having Mitchell Robinson as your starter and then Nerlens Noel as your backup center is pretty amazing. They look really good. Evan Fournier's fit the system really well.
he's been perfect.
We were
He's been
saying
so
in the
good.
season previews that he was a very underrated pickup, and kind of taking a lot of the stress off Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, and obviously Kemba Walker. He's fit in well. He had a good first game against Boston, that was crazy. That was a crazy
That
way to
was
start the season.
yeah,
But yeah, Knicks are looking good. I just think RJ Barrett's been showing. RJ Barrett has been showing his defensive capabilities.
mm,
Not saying that he's not a good defender, but he's got the promise to be a two-way star, like being able to bring it on both ends.
mm.
And yesterday, obviously closing out on DeMar DeRozan, forcing that tough fadeaway from near the three-point line, showing why he's a promising young star. But yeah,
Yeah. RJ Barrett's
I think the Hornets. Wow, they might be the most surprising team. They might be the most surprising team. LaMelo Ball has been unbelievable. Miles Bridges, what?
Yeah, the rise of Miles Bridges. How the hell I wouldn't have picked that.
Would not have picked that. Averaging
No.
28 and 10 or something, like
Yeah.
something crazy.
Ridiculous.
And obviously LaMelo Ball doing his thing. Underrated pickup, Ishmael Smith. I never thought I'd say that. I never thought I'd say that.
Bro, Ish Smith has been on like basically every team in the league. Like he's been on
Every
so many
team.
teams,
Yeah,
but he's so consistent with what he brings. Like he's just a really good playmaker, can really do a bit of everything.
yeah.
Obviously, he's never been like a solid starter, but like, yeah, I'll take him as a backup point guard. He pushes a pace. Yeah, he's been great.
And I think Mason Plumlee's been good as well. Like that was a very overlooked signing of the offseason.
Yeah,
You kind of see his impact on both ends really. Being so athletic. Last year they had Cody Zeller, who's doesn't have the athletic prowess that Mason Plumlee does.
Mm.
So yeah, I think Mason Plumlee's a very good pickup. And yeah, and let's just say the top three seeds in the East have been very surprising. I didn't think the Knicks would be this good to start off. The
nah.
Wizards, what?
The Wizards of all teams. This is
It's
so
been
funny.
5 games. Okay, it's been 5 games. It's been
Yeah,
5
yeah.
games.
Yeah.
But the
Nothing
Wizards
crazy.
look good. Montrezl Harrell is playing good. Kuzma's grabbing a lot of boards, but somewhat struggling to score points at times
Yeah.
because he's an inconsistent player. Caldwell Pope's fit in. Spencer Dinwiddie's averaging like 20 and 7 off the bench.
Mm.
Um, I
Off an
just
ACL
off
injury.
an
We
ACL
didn't
injury as
forget.
well. Like, very under
Yeah.
the radar team. Not many people are talking about them.
Mm.
Um, yeah, what are your thoughts on the Wizards?
It's working so far. They'll definitely hit a slump sometime soon. I don't expect them to keep it up, but just like with the games that I've seen, like they do look like they enjoy playing with each other, and like the fit actually works. There's less pressure on Beal now that you got like a couple of scorers actually next to him, um, and like Montrezl Harrell is like really doing his thing, um, coming off the bench. He's definitely embraced that role as it's gone because like he kind of became diminished in the Lakers' offense. Didn't really work, but
Yeah,
like he's been so good off the bench for them.
and it's
Um,
kind of weird.
yeah,
Like,
I don't know if they stay in this top 8, but look, we'll see how it goes. They've been impressive so far.
yeah, and
Also,
you still
Bulls.
have. Oh, sorry.
No, it's all good. What are you gonna say?
You still have Rui Hachimura
Mm,
and Thomas Bryant coming back from injury.
yeah,
Like you're gonna have a lot of underrated star talent. Um, obviously, I think they can definitely be a playoff team. They've shown why they're a playoff team throughout these 5 games. Very small sample size.
yeah.
Next week it could be completely different.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, we wanted to talk about the Bulls. Oh my lord!
Oh my lord,
Oh my lord!
I love just watch. That's so good to watch.
So fun.
Caruso, and DeRozan have fit in so well.
Yeah,
Now they got. I just saw a post about Patrick Williams. He's out for the season.
that's a big loss because
That sucks.
he's that kind of glue guy.
Mm,
He's like the guy that just does a bit of everything. And what his second season?
yeah, yeah.
Second season.
Oh my god. He's
Season-ending
like.
injury. It's
Mm,
tough. It's tough, but it's not like they don't have any players that can fill that void.
nah.
Um, DeRozan's played a lot of the 4 in the preseason and kind of in San Antonio as well. So he's kind of accustomed to the games heading in that direction, anyways.
Yeah.
Um,
Javante
yeah,
Green as well
yeah,
was so impressive in the preseason. I was really hoping he'd get some minutes this year. Now minutes have opened up. I think he's
yeah.
going to prove himself so well. Small ball 4, but he's so tough. Inside, hit the 3, like good defender. Like he'll get some minutes this year, and I think he'll definitely prove it.
And it's like you can still go small ball of like Caruso. I think they won't bring Caruso. I don't think they'll make Caruso a starter only because I think he's too good at leading that second unit.
Yeah.
But you obviously got players like Alize Johnson, Dennis Jones Jr.
Mm,
Kobe White's still coming back from injury at some point. Tony Bradley, um, Ayo Dosunmu, whatever his name is.
yeah.
I just think there's a lot of up and coming and role players that can kind of fill that void.
Yeah, and they work around star players. It's like Caruso definitely feeds off having like a star next to him. Like
Yeah,
it definitely helps. And so that's how their rotations, in my opinion, should be. At least having Vucevic or DeRozan or Levine out there with Caruso leading that second unit. Um, I think that would make it work a lot better because he definitely feeds off that energy, and all those other role players that you mentioned definitely feed off that. But yeah, Bulls have been great.
yeah.
4-0.
Um, so I think we should kind of cover the top like 8,
Yeah,
maybe top 10, and then kind of we'll obviously talk about the Nets and the Celtics, but the bottom 3. Pistons are looking average. Pacers look very average, although Chris Duarte, the rookie's averaging 20 points a game, which is really random.
yeah,
Magic are looking all right. Cole Anthony's a killer.
yeah.
Boston are just losing games that they should be winning.
Mm.
I don't know why. The Nets, obviously, they've got the struggles. I didn't expect them to have the struggles early. Actually, no, I did expect them to have the struggles early on if they didn't have Kyrie. Hopefully, sorts that shit out and comes back soon.
Mm.
Toronto, Scotty Barnes looks really good. They're actually a very dark horse kind of team. Like not a lot of people are talking about him. You're still waiting for Pascal Siakam to come back, and you're actually not looking too bad.
Mm.
Trae Young is an inconsistent scorer to start the season, but he's still averaging like 11 assists a game.
Mm.
Philly, how are you feeling about Philly, man? They're actually not too bad.
No, yeah, we're not horrible, but it is obvious the lack of Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
And we are talking about Ben Simmons again, but the lack of Ben Simmons definitely is noticeable.
Yeah.
Yeah, the playmaking just isn't as isn't as prevalent. But Tyrese Maxey's been great.
Really good.
I really like that he's got some minutes with this. Yeah, and Embiid's just been killing it himself, but it's like we know that from him. We know he's going to average like his
30
numbers.
and 18.
Yeah, we know he's going to get those numbers, but it's just like who's going to step up next to him? Tobias Harris is being like,
Yeah.
It's like how consistent can he really be? So I think Sixers are okay at the moment. Definitely not. We said in the preseason previews, they're definitely not. With everything going on, I don't think they're a top 3 team. Or they're the only team in the top 3 out compared to last year that could be kicked out.
Yeah.
So that's showing off. That's showing so far. But I mean, you never know. They could definitely turn it around. So Seth Curry could really make this his season. Shake Milton can really not make it his season, but I guess show what he's capable of. Korkmaz has been great as a shooter, an overall scorer off the bench. Yeah, I don't know. I'm indifferent about the Sixers, but with the Hawks, I want to note that Trae, he's only going to do so much, right? And he'll be inconsistent. He needs Cam Reddish and DeAndre Hunter. They need to take that next step this season because you need less stress on Trae. Kevin Huerter, you only got to get 12, 14 points out of him, which is fine. He'll shoot the lights out. But those guys need to step up, I think, and be those 18, 20-point scorers. And they're definitely capable of that. But until they make that jump, all the pressure is going to be on Trae to score.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the Hawks. But I don't know. It's 5 games in.
Yeah.
Never really know. He's been frustrated with the foul calls, which has been interesting because I've liked that change. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
The Drew Holiday-less Bucks have somewhat struggled. They lost to Minnesota 2 days ago. Obviously, didn't Giannis and a bunch of role players. It's what it looked like. Chris Middleton, 16, 5 and 5, but awful shooting, 37% from the field. Giannis, he's putting on a show. 27.5, 11.5, 7 assists. That is MVP numbers right there. If they're top of the East at the end of the season, he will win MVP. I have no doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind.
Man.
But again, it took 40 points from Giannis to even be in the game.
Yeah.
Defensively, they looked lackluster in that Minnesota game. Maybe Minnesota's too offensively talented. But I think once Drew comes back, they'll hit their strides. Brook Lopez needs to come back. Well, they've had a bit of injuries to start the season. Onto bigger and better things here. Hey. Cleveland are 3-2.
Oh,
they're a top 6 seed. They can make the playoffs. They can. I'm not being biased. They look like a playoff team.
Okay.
They look like a playoff team.
I won't dispute it. I'm just curious. That's all.
They look like a borderline playoff team. Ricky Rubio looks like Minnesota of old. Kevin Love is really fitting in well off the bench. Evan Mobley is going to be a superstar. Jared Allen, the front court concept of him and Evan Mobley together just works. Jared Allen, 14.5 and 9 rebounds. Evan Mobley, 14 points, 8.5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 block throughout his first 5 games.
That's impressive. Next to Jared Allen.
apparently no one's done that since Shaq.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Just
Let's fucking go.
Sexton looks great. 23-2, but I think his numbers will go up. Darius Garland? No, Darius Garland. His numbers will go up. He's obviously been injured to start the season, averaging 8 assists, 12.5 points. Ricky Rubio, the star of the show, 14.5, 4 rebounds, 8 assists. Like, what?
He fits so well.
It's so well.
We were saying it, I think, in the preview.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so well.
Kevin Love, 11-7. Like, I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's not focused around him, and he actually looks like he's enjoying it. Like at the end of that Clippers game, yes, we beat the Clippers. He was just going crazy, like so happy to see like his team winning, and yeah, so it's really exciting time to be a Cavs fan. We're versus the Lakers today at 1:30, so I am definitely going to be watching that. But yeah, I think the Cavs are looking good. Western Conference. This is where it's all happening.
There's everything happening here.
Wow. Let's go through the bottom 5 teams and we'll just talk briefly about them. Oh, you want me to go? Okay.
All I care about is Josh Giddey. That's all.
Yeah. The Thunder should be 0-5. I don't know how they came back from that 26-point lead. Josh Giddey looks insane. Holy shit. 18-10 against the Lakers. Amazing. The Spurs, although they lost to Dallas yesterday, they were up 25-7 in the first quarter.
Jeez.
And still lost. But they still actually don't look too bad. Jakob Poeltl is showing like one of the most underrated bigs in the league, averaging a double to start the season. He looks really good. The Zionless Pelicans, Valanciunas carrying that front court. Brandon Ingram looks pretty good. Devontae Graham is taking his time to adjust. Houston, they just look terrible. I don't think they're good.
No.
Jalen Green looks a bit average. Although he had a 30-piece, but
he's such a volume. Like he's
very
needs to get his shots up.
He's very volume based. The Clippers without Kawhi.
Hey, dog.
What's the dog doing? The Clippers look very average without Kawhi. Paul George taking his time again. He's still elite. You can't take away the past 5 years from him.
No.
5 games. The Suns, I expected a bit more.
Yeah, they're kind of cruising. I don't know if they're. It's not like they're not. I don't know why. I think they just are like cruising a bit to kind of start the season. Maybe like finding their feet a bit. Because looking ahead of them, it's like hard to see where they fit. Like, are they a 2 seed again? Like, but they'll figure it out. I think they're still a top 4 team. They're obviously not trading Chris Paul coming like this season. He's locked down for another 3 years. So, I don't know. They just maybe just uninspired, I guess, at the moment. A bit uninspired. It's weird because they can turn it on whenever and be like the best team in the league without a doubt.
Yeah, it's also weird that like their 2 main stars rely on contact. I'm not saying they completely rely on contact, but last year they got Chris Paul and Devin Booker got a lot of foul calls for like that. Obviously, that they've cleared up now. Devin Booker's averaging 21 a game now, and Chris Paul's averaging not even 10 points. I don't think.
It's been.
I think the rule changes kind of have affected some players' games. They're only 12 and 11, so he's still getting some assists. But I think certain players like obviously Damian Lillard, Steph Curry. Although Steph Curry's dominating, you saw James Harden in Brooklyn,
18 a game.
It's Trae Young as well. It's just gonna take time for players to adjust. Lakers story of the season so far, bang average. They look very average.
Too early, but
very early.
Yeah,
I want to say bring Westbrook off the bench.
That's what I'm.
But you can't bring him off the bench. I would stagger the minutes. I would make the minutes really weird, right?
Yeah.
I would have like Westbrook come on for like the first 3 minutes of the game, get subbed off, and then when the second unit comes on like 3 minutes later, bring Westbrook on, and he can just lead that bench unit. But like
Yeah.
he's still starting in theory.
Yeah.
Because I think you need to have LeBron leading your starters, and you need to have Westbrook leading your bench team because like Westbrook is an elite playmaker and has really high IQ. Like he's going to make anyone around him better. You saw that in OKC when they made the playoffs, and it was just him and Steven Adams.
Yeah.
Well, it was his MVP year. But I think he's just that guy that is he's capable of leading a second bench unit, and I think with that diversification, being able to be versatile in that area,
Yeah.
the Lakers would actually be a lot better.
Dude, like if he does that rotation, like having him next to Malik Monk, who's been killing it. Kent Bazemore's been decent, and then like Melo, like he's got shooters, but he's also got two guys who can slash in
and play defense.
Yeah, he's got
defender, Westbrook defender, and then you got DeAndre Jordan or Dwight at the rim.
Yeah.
The only thing is that he's so turnover prone. Sometimes you just think he's like fetching for turnovers because he's just the rim runners aren't even looking at the ball when he's just throwing it up.
Yeah, he tries to do too much sometimes. That's like his
stupid.
Yeah. What'd you say?
The simple stupid.
He does. Oh man, just like they're gonna fit in, I think. But yeah, he does try to do a bit too much sometimes, and that's where Bron can come in and be like, like hold up. I think he should try cutting a bit more, Westbrook, just to put more pressure on the D. If he's standing on the 3-point line, they're not gonna give a shit about him. They're gonna double Bron. Or AD. He's gonna miss a shot. Most times. So I think he should try cutting a bit. They should organize him in a way, kind of like how I play with the Hounds.
That's cool.
When I am not shooting the ball, I'll give a pass off, right? Some sort of cutting or driving action will happen, and then I'll just cut right there and get into the middle of the lane and get some sort of action. Like he could definitely work in that high post area, cut in, get the ball, shoot just a little jump shot or just a slash right there. It could work. It can definitely
work.
Yeah.
Dame looks very average, but I think he'll come around. He's at averaging 10% from three or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
I have faith he'll be fine. The Nuggets with Jokic actually look good. Will Barton's been really good for them. Michael Porter Jr. is taking his time like he did at the start of last season. The Kings actually don't look too bad. David Mitchell's been really good. Harrison Barnes, averaging 25 and 12 or something.
Yeah.
Something insane. He's been really good for them. Hit the game winner over the Suns. The Grizzlies, Ja Morant, making a case for MVP. He could actually win MVP this season.
So skilled, but he's so paced as a really athletic guy.
Yeah.
He's like what we kind of want Westbrook to be.
Yeah.
He really knows when to turn it on, when to slow things up. His ability to manipulate with his handles, with his shoulder little fakes, with his head fakes.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so good. And as a young guy, he's just been able to lead this team so far. And he's not just relying on the slashing. Like he's shooting his threes and he's able to get his floaters off as well. He's great. He's been killing it.
He had a 18-point third quarter yesterday against Golden State, and then ended up winning overtime. Absolute scenes. He's averaging 35 and a half and 8. That shit's crazy. I know it's only 5 games. We like to overreact here.
Yeah.
But still, that's crazy. That's crazy. The supporting cast has kind of been doing their thing. Jaren Jackson Jr. is taking his time, obviously coming back from injury and all that.
Yeah.
D'Anthony Melton's actually been really good for them. Steven Adams has been good for them. Desmond Bane's kind of had a second year jump, averaging 19 and a half, 14 and a half. No, sorry. 19, 4 and a half, and 2 and a half. That's pretty good.
Shooting the lights out, yeah.
I think that'll change when Dylan Brooks comes back. You obviously got Brandon Clark coming back. Jarrett Culver, which is random, because he was meant to be really good.
Yeah.
But Timberwolves looking really good offensively. Defensively is their number one question mark, which has been like that for every season. We know they can score the ball. Anthony Edwards is an absolute killer.
Mm,
Killer, bro.
he's ridiculous.
He's unbelievable. Such a good guy as well. It's just so like,
Yeah,
yeah,
got the young MJ about him. I think
yeah, definitely.
nothing crazy, but young MJ with his athleticism, all
Yeah, and
around
in terms of
scoring.
like work ethic and the way he acts and his attitude, yeah, definitely.
Mm.
The Mavericks, they're 3-1, but I don't know. I'm not sold. Not
Yeah, I was
sold.
gonna say
Luca
not sold yet.
Luca hasn't looked Luca hasn't looked crazy. Like,
Mm.
um, they've only played 4 games, but look, they beat Houston and San Antonio. Like that's obvious. Like they versed the Hawks in their first game and they got destroyed.
Yeah,
And then he versed Houston and San Antonio, and you kind of just get those two easy wins. Even though the San Antonio one was not easy.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Porzingis not. Oh, no, I don't know.
I didn't even start.
He's too much of a shooter. He's got the
Yeah.
size. I don't know if it's confidence. I don't know if it's Jason Kidd's offensive scheme. Like, get him down low. Like,
Yeah.
he's a 7'3" bloke. Like, come on.
Like what?
Um,
Yeah, what the fuck are you doing?
The Warriors are looking crazy. They could have been 5-0 if they didn't blow that lead yesterday to Ja Morant. Steph
Curry
Curry's great.
MVP.
Draymond's looking like Draymond of old. Jordan
Mm.
Poole's fitting in really nicely. Damian Lee off the bench has actually been really good for them.
So solid.
Yeah, averaging 14, 3 and 1. Draymond Green just doing his thing. 8.5, 8 and 7. Like, that's pretty good. Andrew Wiggins averaging 16.5 a game. Jordan Poole, 14 points a game. For those people that bet on most improved, I don't think it's going to happen. Iggy just looks like he's just obviously going to fit in. Otto Porter's been not too bad.
Yeah.
Will Chamberlain's son. And Warriors, they will be in the conference finals.
Hey.
Utah undefeated. Not much else to say. They just look like they did last year.
Yeah, they're not that. They're not exciting.
They don't make noise.
They don't make noise, but like, yeah, they're gonna get their wins. They're gonna just like bring it every night.
Yeah.
And they just know how to play with each other. Whiteside's fit in pretty well. Yeah, they just know how to play with each other, and it's just like showing even more this season how good their chemistry is. Like, and we're saying this is the season where they can actually contend. Like,
Yeah.
this can definitely be the season. They've got everything. They've got a bench. They've got
You still got Rudy
defenders.
Gay. You still got Rudy Gay that's coming
Rudy
back.
yeah. Rudy Gay, you got scoring coming. Yeah, they just got everything you would want, and this might be like, win or bust, I think, for them.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, it's 4-0. Anything can happen, but they're going to get 50-plus wins in this regular season, without a doubt, and definitely capable of 60 wins.
Yeah.
But yeah, whether they can bring in the playoffs, Rudy Gay is going to help with that, definitely. It'll be interesting. Like, they are. If you actually take the time to watch them, they're such a great team to watch because of how well they play with each other.
Yeah.
Their offensive schemes are run really well, and defensively, Utah's always been, I guess, defensive minded with Quinn Snyder, and you got like Jordan Clarkson and Joe Ingles off the bench doing their thing. So you got a great balance.
Yesterday against Houston, they scored 122 points.
Mm.
No one scored over 20 points. No one scored 20 points or more. That's
so balanced.
It's crazy. Very balanced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a team we forgot to mention, I just want to talk about, is the Heat. I think they're a team I've watched the most in this season.
Yeah. Same.
They've been so impressive. Tyler Hero's been just like, he's really had the green light. He's just been shooting like so much, but it's been looking great. Jimmy Butler's averaging like 23. Bam Adebayo's been showing out. Their defenders are really, like, as team defensive, they're second best in the league, I believe, allowing like a 95. We know that we were going to get that from them, but it's just like so good to see within like that system, and when you don't have all great defenders. Like Carly Hero, Duncan Robinson aren't incredible. Carl Lowry's been great as like a playmaker coming in. Yeah, I'm definitely sold on the Heat so far.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll see how they go.
You held Brooklyn Nets under 95 points.
Mm.
Like, it's crazy. No other team does that. Obviously James Harden had a really bad shooting night. He only took 12 shots. Yeah, I think the Heat are a force to be reckoned with.
Max
that
Strus.
was a long episode.
Yeah.
Long
Thank you for sticking around, everyone.
But much needed. It was a much needed episode. I think we will be doing recaps every week. Just like how the teams are going. We'll be eyeing certain players, and then we are back at basketball on Tuesday. We have got a basketball team account for that. I'll link it on our Instagram, and you guys can go follow that and see what's good and all that good stuff. There will be content coming. We are just very busy. I'm starting full time in 2 weeks. Lockie's very busy with work and uni and all that good stuff. So
yeah,
Christmas time is when it's going to ramp up. It's going to be good. And the Hull Rundown podcast is going global, just at a very slow pace. So thanks everyone for watching.
We get there.
Busy and
let's go.